So, last we left off, you had headed out from the village of Barovia, made a full day's travel, and nearing dusk, you approached the encampment marked on the map for you by Esmark, and you see 6 colorful round tents, 10 feet in diameter each, standing outside a ring of wagons. As you crest over the small ridge, a few individuals from the campsite spot you and seem to head in your direction.
I will simply wave at them in my normal fashion.
Seamus will turn to the rest of the party and go, looks like we all have a bit of company here, boys.
I believe this is the Romani. No,
You mean?
I said
You
the real
mean the
world thing,
Vistani.
didn't I?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Vistani?
Vistani, thank you. I believe this is the Vistani. Damn.
I mean, that seems like a fair assessment.
I will
Or is
walk
that the-
forward.
The Pathfinder version of it.
I mean, seeing as how Ismark told us this is a Vistani place, yes, you'd be correct.
Braxton's going to, as these figures approach, Braxton's just in case gonna have his hand on his sword hilt or whatever. Not obviously drawing it, but ready to draw in case, I get an arrow in the neck.
Sunny's just approaching.
Of course, Sonny's just approaching. He doesn't even have a neck, technically. At least not the type you breathe from.
You see
I'm
them.
pretty sure Sonny could choose to breathe through his neck if he so wished.
I don't think I can.
Forged work.
I can literally take a nap at the bottom of the ocean. Actually, no, I can't. I can't take a nap.
I could stay at the bottom of the ocean for 8 hours pretending to take a nap.
Yes.
But do you get affected by rust?
Nah. I made the good stuff, alright.
Walks out of there, just has fish swimming in his chest cavity.
Hold on one moment as I just open it up and water just floods out with a couple of fish just flopping on the ground. Ah,
You
better.
gotta make sure to lacquer you on your way in, just to make you more just in case,
I just
give you
carry
good-
around an oil
give you
can
good
wherever I go.
polish. Yeah.
Sorry, continue, Jordy.
I mean, this is you guys' conversation as your party approaches each other, and you spot 3 Vistani in colorful drab robes. The first one to approach you is a small human girl, tan of skin, and in the same... At this point, you would consider it the quote-unquote Vistani uniform. She spots Sunny waving and waves back, and kind of cocks her head curiously, and shouts over, "Greetings, I am Eliza. These are my compatriots, Gregory," and he points at the man, and Carl, and he points at the other one.
Greetings. I am SU-N21, also known as Sunny. It is a pleasure to meet you.
As you kind of begin speaking, her eyes widen, and she just goes, we've only seen your kind from a distance. You're a warforged, right?"
That is correct.
Wait a minute, you mean these people know exactly what Sonny is?
I mean,
It would-
they must, because they often leave this realm, don't they, and go to other ones? Mm.
Press X to doubt.
She nods when Aldrin says that.
Well, that seems pretty useful. Don't suppose you'd be able to get us out of here?
Yes,
Any of you happen to have Vistani blood?
Negative.
no.
As Sunny says that, she kind of chuckles at the implications.
Not exactly,
You sure you
but
don't?
Would a transfusion perhaps work?
I don't suppose you know where a fairy circle is then?
No. I highly doubt any fairy circles exist here.
I suppose then. Well, young human child? I can never tell. Where do you happen to know of a Madam Cava? Is that how you say it?
Ava.
Ava, the band.
Ah, Ava, yes.
Yeah, she is the leader of our Vastani clan.
Yes, we need to speak with her.
Hey, we we usually follow up with a please and thank you very much. And yeah, we were sent to this realm by a Vistani, so we're hoping that hey, since a Vistani got us here through like a note or whatever, then she'd be like, oh, I can clear that up for you.
Yeah, sort of return upon postal sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, we didn't really get a return address. We got mostly just their location here. So, if you can send us through the UPS or some shit.
UPS?
I don't think that's how that works.
Also,
I-
what
I
is
don't-
UPS?
Universal
I
parcel
don't think-
shifting.
I don't think even Madam Ava could do that for you.
Well, maybe she's at least got some ideas what we can do then.
Or at least the Vistani who sent us here or something like that. More answers than questions, right?
I believe the expression goes, the more questions we have answered, the more questions we will have.
There's an expression like that?
What's the point in that? It just means there's a whole lot of questions.
Who
I
the
believe-
hell made that expression? Some lunatic?
I believe it is supposed to basically say that once you have a question answered, it will lead you to ask more questions.
To be honest, if the question was how do we get out of here and they told us, I think that'd be the only question I'd worry about.
I want to
Honestly,
ask more questions, yeah. Oh, sorry, I kind of stepped on your moment there, Aldrin. If you want to say it.
if any of you said I have a way to get out of here, and it even involved the murder of an innocent, I would be willing to take it.
I would be willing to stop you.
Okay, he does not speak for us as a whole. Man, this is an awkward conversation.
Oh no,
Well, we are.
as long as you don't bother any of my clan, I really don't mind. And if you're that hard set on leaving, perhaps getting in the good graces of our Dreadlord and Master would probably get you a ticket out.
Aldrin looks at her as she says that actually seriously and not afraid.
Yeah, she means that.
You said Strahd can get us out of here.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Damn it.
Even after you guys said,
Yeah,
you guys
that's
all
me
were in
being
my
tired,
game.
guys. That's me
He
being
said
tired out of
Dreadlord.
character. I just got back from work.
No, it's all in character. We
Yeah,
need
no.
to just have our character constantly harping on each other.
it's the one we can.
But to resume the conversation, you believe
Wait a minute. Here's the thing about the rule. Is it just his first name, or do you need the whole name? Because what happens if there's just another person named by the same name?
I honestly think it doesn't. It's just superstition, and it means nothing.
But Aldrin, you passed the test in the first session.
If I
that
call him
makes you think that
Lustraw,
it's
do you
just
think it would
weird.
transfer? Like, it's not really his name.
If we talked about granary, would that transfer? Like, if we talked about straw? Because it's kind of close to his name.
Honestly, if you guys continue to bring up this conversation, I'm just gonna start saying his name again.
You see a very amused Vastani, kind of just looking at the four of you.
Ah, yes, we just met.
In any case, there, you say we have to speak to this lady about this sort of thing, and we were told to have a conversation.
Yes, we were also told that the burgomaster would be with you. I mean, we recognize you by the description in the letter. He said you're, and she kind of looks at Aldrin and Sunny and goes, "Very hard to miss."
I suppose
Yes,
we do
my,
stick out. Bit of a family emergency. Oh, sorry there.
I was just gonna say yes, of course, with our my ruggishly handsome looks and my dashing physique. Of course, I'm quite recognizable.
Yeah, nothing to do with the fact that you glow. In any case,
Both that and the ears not being cut off.
My word, who would be so barbaric?
Realizing that and the fact that you are in fact foreigners, she kind of just attempts to switch the topic and she goes, "Yes, Madam Ava." um,
Do they cut the ears off of elves in this land?
well,
you know what?
mostly Rohadin does that. Well, exclusively Rohadin does that. He seems to take a perverse pleasure in it.
He's some
We've
sort of
only
painter.
seen it from we've only seen it from afar, but he it's a spectacle.
Well,
Aldrin, I would recommend from now on that you wear a hood in case we come across this individual.
If we come across this individual, I'll see that his ears are clipped.
I believe you will die in trying to do so.
well,
Possibly.
well, that's all a nice, pleasant conversation. Anyways, the madam of the house said she was waiting for us.
Oh no, I said she was expecting you. She has given us instructions to escort you to her tent at about 11 at night, more or less.
Ah,
Is it 11 at night?
It's about 5 hours from there.
so I guess we got 5 hours before we get to go meet this woman.
Oh, yes. Do you happen to know these two Vistani ladies that own an inn within Barovia?
Yes.
Do they have to be here at this moment?
I should have figured.
No, these ones. No, they were banished from a separate clan, if I recall. Then they made their way to Strahd and somehow got in his good graces, and now they own an inn.
Interesting. They sent me here a while ago to come see Madame Ava for some reason.
Oh well, most Vastani would point foreigners to Madame Ava.
She's sort of like the tour guide or something.
No, she's just curious. How to explain?
What makes it so important?
We Vastani travel through dimensions as it suits us, and yet Madame Ava has spent a very large portion of her time, as a matter of fact, my entire life here, and no one knows why. She has taken up into interviewing most invitees of Zarovich and sending them on their way.
Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter that much at the moment. We'll find out when we meet her.
Very well. I look forward to meeting this Madam Ava. In the meantime, would you like to hear about the god Pelor?
Mm. Hold on, I'm rolling something. Okay, her her face kind of sours and just goes not really much of the religious sort myself. I'm sure we could find someone.
I mean, to be honest, you probably could just find about anything, and Sonny will be happy to preach to him.
If they are willing to listen, I am happy to enlighten them about Pelor's glory. If you do not wish to hear it, though, I will not force my views upon you.
She nods appreciatively and proceeds to lead you towards the camp.
Great. We will follow, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Phil.
As you arrive at the camp for the first time in a great while, you spot a place that isn't haunted by dread and misery, as there are people around a merry bonfire, roasting meats, drinking wine, and a small little procession of about 2 to 3.
Sorry, something just came up right now. I have to go. I'll try to come back as soon as possible.
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine. What was I? Yeah. A small procession of bards is essentially just playing a merry tune. One of which you can tell is distinctly not as talented as the other two, but that doesn't seem to hinder him much.
Music. Anything else? Any other descriptors?
I mean, would you like to look around?
I
Sure.
mean, I see a lake in the picture.
I mean, I suppose in Seamus's case, he'll approach the people playing the music.
You spot you spot the merry procession. They don't acknowledge you as they're currently performing.
Seamus will go sit next and goes, "Mind if I join in?" As he pulls out his flute.
The what you would consider the leader of the song kind of just looks at you, nods appreciatively, and just gives you the go-ahead.
I will begin playing my flute with him.
We roll me a performance.
You didn't happen to take. Ooh.
I nattied one, of course.
Okay, well,
You're still paying for Humblewood, is what's happening.
yeah.
I mean, it's a performance check. I couldn't care less.
You're a bard and you couldn't care about a performance check? What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Where
he's
the
not that
shit-
kind of
what
bard.
college did you go to?
Huh?
Nothing.
It's quite fine. Like the song and the melody are kind of weird. You're not familiar with the style, but much like the other one that seems to be struggling, you're kind of taken in as the other strayward kitty that has wandered in.
At this point, I just feel like the flute's clogged with something because I haven't actually played it in forever.
Indeed.
I would like
Maybe
to.
you fell down once and some dirt got in it. Sorry, go ahead, Sim.
I was just going to say, I would like to go around and start introducing myself to the Vistani and start inquiring about their lives.
Yep. What precisely are you inquiring about?
I would like to know how they like their lives here in Barovia and what they do for a living.
Okay. A couple of. Oh, you are very quickly informed that their quote-unquote lives in Barovia is not a correct term, as again, they are nomadic people, and they kind of go to Barovia to essentially have a spooky time. This is essentially the Vistani equivalent of a haunted house from their point of view.
They're fucking kids on Halloween break or some shit.
Essentially, yes.
God damn it.
A couple of the more serious ones, like in terms of Vistani, as in they will put their drink aside and just give you like 4 sentences of actually serious information before that completely devolves in just non-serious jokes. But eventually you gather that they are horse traders, silversmiths, coppersmiths, and weavers mostly. They go around from town to town, offer their services, take goods, and do trade, and then leave.
Could you make me a new cape, perchance?
Yeah. Anything specific you would like that cape to be?
I would like it to be embroidered with the symbol of my god, Pelor.
The Vistani says easy enough.
How much would this cost, good sir?
He kind of looks at you conspiratorially and just goes, "How much are you willing to spend?"
I am willing to spend a gold piece.
He nods and asks you when you would like it done.
I assume we are most likely spending the night here and setting out in the morning. So by then, if possible.
Yep, okay. He nods. Takes your gold and essentially just finds two more of his ilk, and you don't see him anymore in the midst.
I like to support local businesses, as I say to Braxton.
They literally go from town to town. That's literally the most unlocal business you could be.
I mean, they're actually
Yes.
literally from dimension to dimension, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it could be local because it isn't like a big corporation, but then again, it's traveling. But it's such a strange. You know what? It's good you.
Thank you.
As Sunny goes around telling people about Paylor, and the flute goes doot doot. Braxton's gonna try to ask about werewolf/werewolf hunters, but he's gonna do his best to just like bring it up in casual conversation. Like, I don't want a Vistani going like, "Hey, Strahd, this guy named Braxton was like really specific about werewolves." Like, just try to lead people in there, but without going like, "Yo, so what about them werewolves, though?" You know what I mean?
Yep, okay.
Is that possible?
Yeah, hold on, I'm just checking things.
Would it be easier if I rolled an investigation?
No, this is essentially just the Vistani being friendly, so they will more or less volunteer most information they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, you take about 30 or so minutes starting a conversation with a couple of them. Eventually you bring it up, and one of them, Stefan, just he goes on a little bit of a rant about how each time the Vastani go into a different place, they're kind of suspected to be werewolves and things like that. And recently it's been
we're just beastkin. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What
it's
the-
it's you got that it's probably because when you leave the mists you tend to enter and essentially depart to a dimension at about roughly the same spot. So, werewolves attacks come from this location, goes one civilization, and then the Vastani show up from the exact same location. Maybe?
fair.
But he then just proceeds to go that, it started off as like a minor annoyance, but recently in the past about 4 years or so, it's been gotten a lot worse. He kind of assumes that whatever the werewolves are doing, it's been intensifying, and that has kind of reflected on the Vastani a bit.
So lots of werewolf issues around here.
Yeah. Did they say anything about werewolf hunters in the area to solve it, or what Strahd was thinking about doing it?
Oh well, if you ask that question, they will readily inform you that most werewolves in Barovia serve Strahd directly.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Braxton was just curious because he heard about the werewolf hunters from Ismark, so he was just like, huh. And then,
Yeah, about the werewolf hunters, they can't actually tell you much.
probably because they
most-
haven't run into them or something.
No, mostly because they will readily say this. The werewolf hunters are most of the werewolf hunters and wolf hunters in general are based in Valaki, and the Burgomeister of Valaki has kind of wardened off the city from Vastani, so they can't get in or out or even close to the city.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. That makes sense. If I figure stuff out, then maybe I'll tell you guys. If I see you around.
Um,
And then other than that, I'll just wait the 4 remaining hours or so. Unless I'm grabbed or something.
no, the Vastani are pretty content to just essentially continue on what they were doing. And
I mean, of course, if they want to keep chatting, I keep chatting about random bullshit. But
yeah, fair enough.
because it's more suspicious to go like, man, those werewolf hunters, bye.
Yeah, if you're actively like chatting for 4 hours, you will eventually hear the story about the wizard Kanan and his duel with Strahd. You gather that it's like it's a retelling, as in like they weren't there to witness that, but a group of Vastani was there, and yeah, you get the rough idea of the Kanan insurrection, as it's known. It lasted for about 7 days in total. This more or less including the gathering of the forces and the invasion of the castle itself. You get a brief description of the battle. Most of the details are kind of like exaggerated, but you well, you gather a few things from it. Firstly, the insurrection was quote-unquote unsuccessful, as indicated by the fact that Strahd's still here. But the wizard Kanan seemed to be having a pretty good job of it until something happened, and well, according to them, the mist struck him down, and yet they're very vague about that part in particular.
They're like, man, yeah, it was a great song. Like they made a power ballad, and then they're like, and then Strahd won, dun dun.
No, it's more like they don't know what. Like even the people watching it aren't sure of what happened. So they kind of just went, yes, and then the miss got him. Like that's our best explanation, really, for what just happened.
And then he was shot with a gun.
Essentially,
Moving
yes.
The ending of Wizards. Good movie.
I gotta say though, can you imagine being a fucking wizard landing in Barovia, going like, "Well, this shit's fucked." Going like, "Hey, I'm gonna go kill that vampire. You wanna come with?" And then you get an army, and then show up a week later and fucking attack his castle. And then afterwards, even though you lost, Strahd's like, "Well, that was shit. Fuck that. What the hell?"
Oh yeah, they give you descriptions that like several of the towers of the castle were like completely crumpled. A couple of the main gate itself was like completely torn from a fireball that the wizard cast before entering. Essentially, things like that. Like it took Strahd about 6 months of active work to get his castle back in order. Like this wasn't a small battle. This was this was Strahd winning by the scruff of his by the skin of
By
his
the
teeth.
skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
Strahd had to put an actual effort to repel the invader, and then 6 months of effort to repair his castle. He must have been fucking pissed.
More or less. Yeah. Well, the other detail you would have probably surmised from the song is that that wizard was never invited in Barovia nor dragged by the werewolves. For all they know, he just kind of showed up.
Perhaps he came here of his own accord.
Perhaps. Who can say, really?
What do you think, Braxton?
Hmm. I really don't have a lot of information about out of a plays and all that garbage. I don't know. Maybe he was just like, "Ooh, cool mists," and then like way inside. I mean, I gotta really learn more about the whole how did this chunk of land get put somewhere else away from the Forgotten Realms or whatever. So as soon as I figure that out, then of course, I mean,
The Vastani kind of pipes up and goes, "Oh, that's simple. It was the god that punished Strahd for his greed and arrogance."
Which god is this?
At about this point, Sonny, you gather that was essentially just a common fact that person believed, and they never actually questioned it. So when you actually questioned it, he just went, "Oh."
oh yeah, it was totally a god. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that seems like a likely candidate for taking a part of land and putting in another dimension.
Yeah, but like, there's plenty of gods who hate different things. Why don't they all just rip out the fucking things they don't like and throw them somewhere else? There's got to be a reason why this specific place was moved. And now it probably has to do with the devil, but you know, until we figure it out.
But was it? But you do not have any inclination which god it was, though.
I'm more curious to know what the devil did to piss off a god so much they decided to damn him and an entire city. Or land, I should say.
The Vastani kind of talking to you guys just turns to Sunny, shrugs, and then just goes, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a thing that the locals keep repeating, and eventually it got into our thoughts as well, and we've never really questioned it, never had a reason to.
I suppose it
Strahd's
makes it
minions
easier.
have never
Yeah, sorry.
Strahd's minions have never bothered us, and we don't pry into his business overly much.
I mean, I suppose it's a bit easier when you can kind of come and go as you please.
You know what? That's a good question. You guys are interdimensional jumpers, basically. You go to a bunch of different realms and all that. Do you know of a realm that was ripped out of another one and then put somewhere else? Have you ever encountered something like that other than this place?
Kind of scratches his 10 intellect little brain. Thinks about it really hard. Makes a history check. Fails it. You can all see the gears turning in this guy's head.
I assume the next 3 hours.
You know,
will be worth
after he gives his like forehead a good little scratching, and like the steam stops coming from his head, he just kind of goes, no, doesn't seem familiar.
You know what I mean?
God, when you roll a nat one on a history check, at
Oh
an
God,
NPC.
Wait, has it been seen that once this session only? Has the session been seen that once?
To be fair, I am rolling real dice, and this is my cursed die, and I'm going to stop rolling this.
Wait. Only do me a favor though. When we start combat, roll that dice.
Well, this is a bit of a unique situation then. You seriously, you just travel the realms and you come across a place that's unique to itself and nobody bothered to ask any of the details.
I mean, we never asked the details when we arrived in his home, and Suits Varmer were walking around talking to people.
Looks over at Sunny. You know what? Fair point. I suppose when you travel enough, every place is weird.
I have to rebuke you. You literally figured out that they were called Warforged and all that. You did get details.
Oh yeah, the name and the fact that they're like sentient and we shouldn't bother them, but that's about all the details we ever got about them.
I appreciate the fact that you recognize my sentience and know not to quote-unquote bother me when I wish to be left alone. Thank you.
Yeah,
Here.
the person we talked about it was really insistent on. Well, we tried buying one of your kind, and he seemed really upset with us, and we didn't understand why.
I get it.
Eventually, we got given a speech. Most of us remember it just because his face was all red at the end of it.
I see. Regardless,
But see,
I pull out my bag. Have a lollipop.
He takes it eagerly, and just goes, you even have the accoutrement of the plates.
Yes.
Well, in any case.
that was a complete misuse of the words accoutrement. And so we should move on from this.
Common is strange in all the realms. Sometimes you just mix up words.
I mean, I suppose when you travel interdimensionals, you get a lot of different dialects.
Yes. What
kind of
does
like the-
accoutrement mean? Where you come from? This is Jordan asking you to educate him in character.
Accoutrement. It's one of those things where it's a cinnamon and it's a cinnamon. Yep.
One of the spice. Yes, they're very delectable.
Accoutrement is basically it's literally just additional bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a Warforged with candy. There was a thing with the accoutrement from the same place that original
I mean,
thing
to be
was
fair,
from.
accoutrement, if we're saying that common is English, ain't even an English word. We just stole it.
No, common is all the languages from this reality, and when I say this reality, I mean the real world. Like French is considered common. I don't care. I will not be going in this debate. If it's common, it's from this
No,
world.
Jordan. There's a second definition that I'll use a little bit more modern because let's be fair. Using a fucking word called accoutrement, it's usually superficial or like over too much. Did you really need a gold-plated fucking toilet? You know what I mean? Like it's like additional. I know that additional is the term, but it's just like additional so much that it could be gaudy. That's the secondary definition that I remember, and that's why I got.
We'll say that the artificial intelligence that has holy powers and also gives out candy isn't a accoutrement. Like that's
Yeah,
not
he's
going
not just
way
a
beyond
magician. He is his own person. He is the whole living room, not just accoutrements to it.
Okay.
He's the whole property.
I do
Not
make
just
for a
our food.
conversation piece, though.
You do.
Accoutrement.
That was both in character and out of character.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Mostly because you can have a conversation.
Yep. Eventually, the subject of linguistics bores the half-drunk Vastani when he kind of realized that, oh no, I don't want to be in school. Fuck this.
Would you
And
like
he-
me to explain calculus to you?
Oh god, at that point, the Vastani actually gets a horrified look on his face. Please
No, we're
don't.
gonna start off with basic trigonometry so we can get it, and then the fact.
It's really not as hard as many people make it out to be.
Jordan runs away from the conversation, as you can tell from him not speaking.
Indeed, this is Jordan just going, okay, how far can I get from my headphones while still just barely being able to hear it?
Hey, pick this a vicious mockery cantrip, and then just tell Strahd math, and then kill Jordan Heath? Can you say that? Can you just ask him mathematical questions, and then just deal damage to both him and the DM?
This is how we will win the Curse of Strahd.
So how did you kill Strahd? So we got 6 parts, okay. We got 6 vicious mockery, okay. And for the 4-hour fight, we proceeded to explain algebra to our GM.
and ask him for math help. And we expected him to help because he has a math degree.
and then the person you're explaining it to just goes, wait, Strahd has like vampiric that can never work. And then you just turn to him and goes, oh no, Strahd was fine, our GM was dead.
Strahd regenerated all the damage he got till our GM died.
And that's how we beat Curse of Strahd, goes the party.
High fives all around. Woo!
It's the only way to get the good ending.
Rodigger's party. We both were alive and not dead because the campaign stopped.
I really hope Zach comes back as like, why are you guys all laughing? It's like, oh man, you missed a great conversation.
So, any kind of pertinent information you would like to talk about with Vastani, or will you just wait?
What is the favor that the devil owes you? Why does he owe you a favor?
You know, the half-scarred Vastani being threatened by the party with algebra just looks up in hope. Perhaps this will not be a terrible day for him, he thinks, and just goes, ah yes, according to our legends, a long time ago when Strahd was conquering this place, back when he was a human, he suffered a defeat and a group of Vastani nursed him back to health and led him back to his host. He thanked us and promised us that as long as he rules Barovia, we will always be welcome in his domain.
And what was this enemy he was fighting so long ago?
At that, he shrugs.
I think it's probably just the people around here if he was just conquering the land.
Perhaps, but it may be a specific foe, such as a lord or king of a forgotten age.
Well, if the previous rulers of this place have kind of been wiped to history, even to our folklore. Strahd made very good care of that. He then proceeded to rename both the central keep he built and the land itself. He named the land after his father, King Barov, and the keep he constructed after his mother, Queen Ravenlothnica. So no records of the previous rulers of this place exist.
And do you know how he became a vampire?
He kind of shrugs and just goes, no one knows that. He was just a vampire one day.
I see. I theorize he must have also gotten rid of any records of that as well.
He shrugs and just goes, possibly.
Sorry, man. I was about to say Jordan and then Heath, and I'm like, what's Braxton? He's been writing all this stuff down, and when it's just like, yeah, Strahd killed all the previous lords and ladies and kings and whatever this land, he looked visibly sad, because that's just lost history. But yeah, Braxton is just eating lore up. It's so much fun.
God, it's really fun running a party that isn't actively hostile towards the Vastani. That's really nice.
Was that your last party?
Oh, my last party met the three Vastani in the inn, and Derter just went, I make jam out of this woman.
It's one of those things where they're just like, they're informants to Strahd, but he obviously likes them, so if we start killing and maiming them, then that's a bad idea. But if we outwardly avoid them, then we lose out on any information they may give back. It's like, just let them
they're not all informants to Strahd. Most of them just keep as far away. Like, and this will be told to you, like in character, that some choose to like live in Barovia and become servants of Strahd, but most really just avoid Strahd. Come to this place, trade for some goods, mostly wine, mostly a wine called Dragon Crush wine, and essentially just traded on to other dimensions. Apparently, it's a very high-priced commodity.
All right, Jordan, I need you to go through some of these steps with me, okay? You need to stay in this logic. Ismark and Irina told us that some Vistani are good and most are bad because Ismark is racist. It's fine. But they did tell us that people who refer to Strahd as Strahd is probably working with him. And a lot of Vistani so far have been saying Strahd.
Oh, no. All Vastani have been saying Strahd.
Oh, really?
Not a single one has used the... like, again, Ismark explained this to you. The locals call Strahd
the devil.
The devil.
So in other words, us not saying Strahd at this point is pointless.
In the specific Vistani camp.
Yes. In the Vistani camp, the Strahd restriction can be lifted because it's a little late to worry about.
Yeah. Again, the implication here is partially also the Vstani really don't care if Strahd's spying on them. Like, what's Strahd gonna learn? The newest hot topic prices.
Strahd just calls them up for like, okay, so what's the newest rumor?
Essentially.
I mean, let's be honest. He might well do that just as like, so you know what's going on in this plane of existence.
Oh, again,
Oh, can I
he
say
definitely does that, but it's specific agents he has. Like, he doesn't just talk to random Vistani, because if he does, Vistani can just lie to him. And he can't confirm whether they're lying or not unless he talks to another Vistani who might decide that, hey, this is a funny joke.
Let's prank the bitch.
Essentially.
Wait, I don't want to assume, but does Strahd have a low insight, or do Vistani get born with expertise in deception?
Vistani have, at the very least, proficiency in deception, yes.
Got it.
Like Vistani are good liars. You can get that from like the 2 hours you've been in this camp. A Vistani can probably tell you that the sky is orange, and for a split second you may believe him.
In this world, it's possible, at least.
I haven't seen this guy since we've gotten here, so probably, honest to God, there's just been clouds.
Yeah. Half of the trade of Vistani is legitimate business. The other half is pure raw bullshit.
Well, in
No
any
wonder
case,
why they have to go place to place. They're insufferable.
I mean, they
Any
literally
case, I'm
send people to their deaths as a prank to pull a prank on a vampire.
I mean, you don't know that. You're assuming that based on the things you've been given.
Yeah,
But
based
the,
off.
the
Also,
people that
Strahd
give you
saying-
that.
Well, also Strahd saying, "Hey, how the fuck did you guys get here? Why didn't I drag you in kicking and screaming? Someone else got you here."
Yeah, but then you described the Vistani, and Strahd made like Strahd made what is called an Arkham Razor argument. He eliminated all the arguments except the one that was the most likely and required the least amount of
Effort. Gotcha. No, that's fair. In any case, yeah, it is an assumption that is true. We are assuming. Well, in any case, this all seems pleasant and delightful. Glad to know we're in this place that, with all you good folk.
He kind of giggles, goes good folk.
But in any case, though. Oh, sorry.
I'm guessing the only good folk here would probably be you folks. Maybe Madame Eva. Could never read her.
I mean, fair enough. It's more of a turn of phrase than an exact word of description.
Fair enough, goes the Vistani. Fair enough.
But as far as you folk go, if you prefer to go that way route,
Oh, assuming that Vistani are good folk, may get you in an early grave. Some of us are rather rambunctious. I will freely admit that.
Look, our elf friend over there who's trying to get laid with any little woman he can right now. I mean, let's be honest, he's just as likely to get us killed.
By this point, he's not quote unquote trying. He's succeeded.
Never mind. I really hope he doesn't pick anything up. We don't have a cleric on hand.
If you are talking about STDs, I am able to rid someone of them.
But you really want to?
In truth, I would rather not put my hands on him.
Like, do you have to touch the infected area?
Thankfully, no. No, it does not really give displeasure to me, I suppose, or at least poses any sort of biological threat.
The ultimate plague curer, Sonny. He walks into a plague-ridden town and just goes, "I am salvation."
I mean,
To
to
be
be
fair,
fa-
that's any paladin above 3rd level.
Yeah, but you also can't get disease, so you can essentially just use all of your things. Meanwhile, a paladin needs to be careful. Oh yeah, I might get diseased as well.
Now paladins are immune from disease at 3rd level onward. Divine help.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a paladin thing.
Oh, I thought that was a. Oh wait, what do druids get then?
You're thinking monk. Monks are immune to poison at level like 10.
Ah, fair. Oh no, wait. Some druids get longevity, right?
Oh, the longevity thing. Oh, old druids get that, but that's like level 18.
Yeah, my bad.
And monks get longevity as well, and the fact that, they could be 90 but still have the body of a 20-year-old.
Well, technically they're 90. They just as strong as a 20-year-old, but they still look 90.
Anyway. Yes, if he picks up a disease, and it proves to be, how shall I say,
Detrimental.
yes, to the rest of us, I will cure him.
Oh, that's at least a bit of a comfort, I suppose.
Mighty convenient. Mighty convenient.
I honestly don't think any of us are gonna have sex with Aldrin, but thank you.
Oh, I do not mean.
I think he's referring to that Aldrin becomes useless because his ding-dong's fallen off.
Oh.
Though, it might be more beneficial to wait until after that happens.
It'd probably keep him out of trouble.
Agreed.
Yes, why you should neuter your dogs?
We're terrible people.
We're not
also
the ones
pretty
who
drunk,
kidnap children and shove them into the Feywild for amusement of the court.
Like, legit, Sonny is like 30% sure he's gonna end up having to kill this man.
though. Yeah, he'll do it to himself. You don't have to just let him keep doing what he's been doing. Pretty sure he'll die.
I mean, to be fair, last time he went out, the church was on fire, and all sorts of crazy things occurred.
Sonny's eyes go blue for a second, and then they go back to yellow.
Church was on fire. The Vastani questions.
Well, outside of the area of the church, Strahd had cast a fireball on a crowd of people, attempting to protect a fledgling vampire.
The Vastani kind of squints at you. Goes, why? Strahd cares little about his. He barely cares about the ones he keeps around, let alone fledgling ones.
Looks
We
at
had-
Sonny.
We had
If you want the full story, I'm pretty sure you're gonna need to get a few more things of alcohol, because it's a sit down. It's a sit down and chat kind of.
Yep.
Sonny
you-
will just more or less tell him the story of what happened.
After the alcohol, because I assume the story will take a full hour.
Yep. Don't worry about it. This man has. Well, most of these people have kind of, at this point in the night, just imbibed liberally. But yeah, you tell him about the story. He.
As Sonny tells the story, I assume Braxis and Seamus are nearby for commentary, but they really don't need to provide it because Sonny just portrays it accurately. But we're both just like, oh god, like, we're both like trying not to, but we're just like, fucking hell, what the fuck?
Oh,
Just
no.
slowly receding into ourselves.
Yeah, it's like we were there, but there's nothing we could have stopped that train wreck from happening.
Yeah,
And,
just like, what the fuck?
When the story finishes, the Vastani kind of laughs and just goes, the weird intricacies of the vampire folk. His first love was a human. Now his second, Metalman, Warforged. That was.
Wait, hold
Wait,
on
his
there.
first love
There.
was a
Strahd
human?
had a love.
Yes. Do you
All right, your
not
turn for
know?
the story vlog. Get up there.
Well, we don't know much about it. It's been a while. This was back when Strahd was human, so do forgive. But according to some of our stories, Strahd loved a human peasant girl named Tatiana. Her her fate remains a mystery, and no one actually knows what happened to her. But well, she's no longer around. Strahd is.
And you compared me to her. Why?
I mean,
You got
you
the
don't
hips,
need to
Sonny.
ask that in character. He's just essentially fucking with you.
I don't know. Sonny need to know. I
Oh,
know.
well.
Sonny doesn't.
He just goes, sorry, I'm not sure how much humor species grasps, but it was just a funny joke I thought up.
I
Yeah,
get it.
fair enough.
It was an attempt at comedy. Ah,
Speaking of which, I suppose since you're all interdimensional travelers, I came up with a neat little ditty. I might as well share it to all of you. Maybe you can spread it word around. And he's gonna teach them the song of the robot and the Fae, just so he can get it out there. If he dies,
Yep.
damn it, this song will at least be known for.
Yep. The Vistani kind of calls in the other person that was performing with you. He kind of listens, nods with it, just goes. We'll spread it around.
Yeah, much
We'll
appreciated.
we'll see if other people like it.
I tried to spread it around here, but I have a feeling it's not exactly this isn't exactly the land for a beer drinking song.
No, I agree. I frankly don't know what the madam sees in this place. I mean, they have good wine, but spending this much time in here is, it's frankly macabre. It worries most of us.
Well, as I said, I'd be first on board getting out of here as soon as possible.
I actually, this has never come up, so this is just Jordan thinking, but theoretically, if you marry a Vastani, can you leave Barovia?
He was asking about the whole blood transfusion thing.
No.
As a DM, I will frankly admit, I don't know how it works. I know that half Vastani can leave. I'm not sure whether if you like marry into it, you can leave.
Can you marry into being a
I'm
Vistani?
sure when you go to parole board, aka Strahd, and go like, "Yo, I married a Vistani," he'd be more likely to let you out.
No, but the Vastani don't leave like that. The Vastani just enter the mists, and then they essentially just exit Barovia and reappear.
I
in
would
another
imagine
plane.
since it's a racial thing, you probably couldn't marry into it, but
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not really a racial thing. They don't have like
It is a culture.
huh,
they don't have like interdimensional plane
Travel.
shifting in their repertoire, and there is a Vestani repertoire.
So it's literally a cultural thing that they just can do.
Yeah, apparently.
Seamus starts
I'm-
thinking.
The reason this was spurred on was because I'm looking at the Vastani stat sheet right now. There isn't like a plane shift or anything on it.
There's,
And it is rather thought out, as in like it's not one of those sheets that someone just put in together and never thought about it. It's actually like fairly detailed and well explained.
So if I marry one of you, I could leave this place in theory.
The Vastani shrugs and just goes, "No one's ever tried it. I mean, you could be the first one to try it."
I mean, at this point,
Unfortunately, My vows as a priest prevent me from marriage.
Well, to be fair, I'm open for game. You got any young maidens that are looking for a husband?
I don't know. Roll me investigation. See.
Investigation. Uh,
This is you investigating for young maidens. God.
Investigate the young man.
You find a crotchety old night hag.
Hey, can I have investigated as well? Just for funsies? Braxton, of course, would not have done it, but he'll look.
Sure.
he did. You know, I just gotta say, guys, this game hates us.
No, watch
Yeah.
it. I would like to find a bride to be for Seamus.
Sonny just
Okay.
wants to
We're all
make a
trying to get
marriage.
Seamus
Sonny
hooked
just
up.
wants to perform a marriage ceremony at this point.
He's got the spell.
Ah.
Jesus, the both of you find Sophia. She's about 35 years old and still kind of. She hasn't quote unquote hit the wall yet.
Would you like? Hello, Sophia. My name is SU-N21. Would you like to marry my friend Seamus here?
How does one respond to that? You see,
when
you-
Braxton heard that, I'll
Yeah.
go get more alcohol, I guess. I'm not touching that.
you see, the really funny thing here is Avastani would just take that as a joke, but then it's also delivered by fucking Sunny. You know, for whom the concept of humor was just explained. Ah, that's how she's gonna take it. This is Sunny's first joke. As she giggles and nods enthusiastically, going along with the mad scheme.
Very well. I can conduct the marriage ceremony right now if you so desire.
God, do you actually have ceremony prepared?
I do.
God.
This as Seamus escapes the campaign already. This is how Seamus gets
Okay.
out, guys. We figured a loophole out of Strahd.
I mean, there are a lot of ways to get out of Barovia.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that this might be one of them. Hold on.
The one session Blackstone missed, he lost Seamus. The Seamus went home.
Ah, someone on Reddit has already asked the question.
What's the ruling out of curiosity?
No, obviously. It's like if I married, let's
God,
say
why
if I married,
why is this a conversation? Why is this a mirror conversation in Reddit form of the conversation we just had?
it's one of those things where if I was a DM, I'd be like, no, because like in order to learn and join and understand a culture, that takes like at least like a few months, if not years, of study. And like interacting with those people, you can't just do a shotgun wedding. Like if I went off and married a Jewish lady, I can't be like, I'm Jewish now, shotgun pachung. You know what I mean? I have no fucking clue.
So then that theory, we could join the tribe as long as we learn their ways.
That's what I was thinking. Yes, with like an ash.
Yeah, most people agree that it probably is indeed a racial thing.
Well, most people are dumb. Do the whole you learn the culture thing.
Listen, I'm just here for a wedding.
Because I want this wedding to happen, but I don't want James to leave.
you know what I fucking adore? Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
This is Curse of Strahd Part 5, right? This is 1 hour and 10 minutes into it. Let's bookmark this.
Okay.
Okay.
Why are we bookmarking? Why are we bookmarking this?
It's for future use.
Is this for your?
Go up to Seamus, just like, I have kidnapped your wife, and he's like, who?
No, it's more like the idea of you being here for a wedding. Let's bookmark that, like, and remember it fondly, okay? Okay.
I mean, I don't know how.
Madam Ava's just Madam Ava's just gonna walk out and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I mean, here's the thing about ceremony. If she thinks it's a joke, then I don't think the ceremony counts. Because they gotta be willing creatures, yeah.
It depends. It just says you have to be willing to be bound together in marriage.
Well, yeah, but if you think it's a joke, then you wouldn't be technically willing.
No,
I'll
at
find
the
out.
end, just the last rite you ring is just like, just kidding, unless, and then they get confused and say yes, and then you get them. There you go.
I'm like one of those Vegas wedding people, just fucking.
You're an
God.
Elvis impersonator and everything.
Anyway, would you like me to conduct the ceremony? I only need 25 gold worth of powdered silver.
I
Well,
just realized, yeah, you do.
Which nobody has. Well, I suppose we'll have to wait on the idea for the next time around.
I mean, you can take your swords and like
I am not.
Grind
I
them
am not
into
grinding my-
powder.
I am not
Yeah.
grinding my sword into powder.
Why? I thought you said you were here for a wedding.
I
I also like living.
Ah.
Look at those neat little swords I gave you. Wouldn't you want to grind them into powder to participate in a wedding? A legit
Jordan, don't
bona fide
tempt
wedding.
me! Don't tempt me!
A legit bona fide wedding, Michael.
For a good friend, what would
Yes.
Paylor do?
Stop it, guys! Don't you dare try to make me grind my sword up! My survival is yours!
It's not going to be Seamus's for much longer. This sword could be my ticket out.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point.
You'll save a life.
Seamus gets to reunite with his mother. What would Paylor do?
Up to you, Michael. I'll tell you. I'll tell you this much.
Hold on, Jordan. Are you suggesting that as soon as Seamus gets out, he'll introduce his wife to her new mother-in-law?
Well, I mean, he is married.
Mom, I have someone very special for you to meet. Who's that? My wife! Oh, and where'd you guys meet? In the cursed land of Barovia. Oh, and how long have you known each other? About 2 hours.
About 2 hours. And you married because it was the only way out, Ma, and I am fine with this.
There was a vampire man and everything in the mists. They
Look.
ate people.
Look, there were vampires in the mists, there were fays who had kidnapped children, there was a great friend of mine, turned into a werewolf, nice guy and all, but I needed to get the fuck out, any way possible. Honestly, there was an 80-year-old hag really considering at the time.
There was also the Warforged who... There was also the robot who sanctified the wedding.
We were married by a robot, it's quite neat. We put a coin. Apparently, we had to put like 25 golds worth of silver gold coins in them. It's just imagine like a
and
vending
she's
machine.
like-
It's like it's like a Vegas wedding. You need the coin pouch to put in there with the powder.
Okay, so here's my DM judication on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'll say that each of your swords costs at least 25 silver in it. The Vastani are a silversmith, so they can powder it. Now, if you marry someone with ceremony, I will give you a D20, just a flat D20. On a roll of 1 to 10, You choke on the mists and you can't leave. On a roll from 10 to 20, you can leave.
You mean 11?
You mean 11 to 20?
It's 10, 20.
So
I mean, guys, Sonny ain't leaving Barovia until he's either dead or this place is fixed. If either one of you want to go, you have your ticket.
we'll call this Plan B for the time being. We'll say we don't have the silver powder, but if things get any darker, Seamus is like, okay, I'm gonna go find myself a lass. I'll see you all later. Sonny, let's get. I need a priest. Let's get married. I'm out of here.
You and I, or you and this lass you were trying to find.
We're just gonna find a lass. We're gonna get married. We're gonna get out of here. Nice Vistani. I have nothing against the Vistani. Lovely people.
It's actually me and you, Sonny.
God,
Not
us
you.
stalling for Blackstone has never been this fun.
I know, that's the problem. We're just waiting for Blackstone to get back because we can't continue without him.
I mean, we could, but we shouldn't.
Well, not with the major stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, Braxton, would you like to attempt a marriage?
Thanks. I already have I think I already have a kid. I gotta check my backstory again, but I'm pretty sure I already have a kid and all that, so I'm good.
Get already married, Braxton.
I didn't necessarily say married, but
So his eyes immediately
know.
go red.
but I left him 10 gold, and it's mostly I left because the whole thing I can't talk about sort of thing, in order to figure that out before I went back and fixed all that.
His eyes go back to yellow.
So are you referring to the fact that your shaving habits kind of got in the way of your true love?
Yeah. It's literally, by the way, I would start with 25 gold and I shaved off 10 just because of that backstory. So that is canon as fuck.
That's okay. I robbed our party
mean-
member.
I mean, I shaved off 100 from my starting gold in the investigation campaign just because I owned you.
Why? What?
I can't wait for that to get resolved tomorrow. In any case. Well, I mean, oh, sorry.
So we've done marriages, we've gotten a lot of lore. We learned about, I guess, Tatiana and a cool mage that started with a C that I wasn't able to write down because, again, I'm not getting up. If someone could ask Jordan for that name of the wizard and write it down on our notes, baby, I'd be very appreciative.
God,
Me too, I'll give you one.
I got it. What was the wizard's name? Was
Kynan.
Kynan? Yeah, like Mordenkainen.
And we learned that marriage is an escape from Barovia, but not an escape from marriage.
What's the worst, Barovia or getting married?
I'll take
Depends on who you
vampire,
get
thank you.
married. I honestly,
Look,
Even
at the
though
very
I
least
like
I can look. At the very least I can reason with Strahd, says the Vistani.
we can't reason with Seamus or Braxton.
Oh no, this is a grumpy old Vistani, just on the sidelines. That's just
Oh,
listening
yeah.
to this
He's
prank.
got the
going,
1960s
yes.
humor, where he's like, "Yeah, whenever I get home, give her a slap on the face." Woo!
I mean,
I
to be
can't
fair,
wait
I
for-
guess the quick question to resolve this in the case of actually, what does happen when an outsider marries one of you? They become part of the clan and travel the worlds with you, or what? Because I'm assuming this has had to happen.
Most of us, when we marry outsiders, just leave the fold. They have their fun, and if they choose to return, we take them back in.
In the mate.
Well, by that time, the mate has either become indistinguishable from us, or has left.
Wait a minute. What do you mean indistinguishable?
Well, absorbing the culture, just
Oh,
in
okay,
general.
okay. So in other words, he just becomes one of you and joins the club. So then they travel around with you.
I can tell you that half Vastani can travel the mists quite freely and readily, at the very least.
I
Seamus.
see.
I'm not giving you this cop out heat. Fuck you. You will do the proper science for this.
Jordan.
I cannot wait for Zach to get back and us to just be like, "Guy, Zach, we have a way out." What? We just have to get married. What?
You
What's
get the
happening?
withering old Vistani. You can just have him say, "Marriage is the trap, sucker," and then just go off into the night.
I mean, to be fair, out of your entire party, Aldrin and Sunny would probably be the most open to marriage, just because. So Aldrin marries a Vastani. Aldrin just goes, okay, so this is gonna be a remarkably miserable 60 years. I'll take a quick nap. And he just proceeds to do something for 60 years. Sunny can more or less just do the same thing.
Of course, the
Hell.
Vistani still have to be willing to marry them, is the key.
Yeah. But once you're out of Barovia, then you can essentially just, find a very distracting hobby.
Or you could just get divorced.
No, because I feel like they drag you back
Why
to
not?
because they'll drag you back to Barovia to say fuck you.
Yeah, nothing's more dangerous than a pissed off Vastani.
I mean, to be fair, it does say the wedding ceremony can only be undone by being widowed.
Oh no! Wait,
Ooh.
an accident.
Sonny's good, and the thing is, he's non-binary. He has more options than you guys.
I mean,
You're non-binary. That's some heretical shit, my guy. All computers are binary.
Oh my god!
Jordan, good joke.
I mean, Seamus I never said Seamus don't swing multiple ways. He is a bard after all.
Fair. That's fair.
Braxton is based off Old English, travelers. If you're not telling me he did not fuck with the stable boy, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's canon now, mostly because you made it canon.
I mean, it's when all those nights.
Braxton just gets into the room and he's just like, "Let me show you my wild side."
Yeah, basically, are you telling English?
He has become a Sunny.
Is that what Sonny sounds like?
No, he's even better. Listen to Eric being a robot. Jesus Christ, if I could be a robot that good.
There.
Am I better now?
Yes.
Sweet.
I just love how I like how we have an out for this campaign now. It's like, all right, guys, we pissed Strahd off. We gotta bounce. But stunning girls, hey, bachelor number one. What do you think
It is
about
time
marriage?
for Vegas. It is time for Vegas shotgun marriage, boys.
We are a shitty teen, like, end of school year rom-com where we've got one last semester to get married or else our lives will be completely over. Join 4 wacky friends on their crazy hijinks.
to get a Barovia or get dead.
I mean, to be fair, this isn't the worst. Like,
Plan.
yeah. Also, this isn't like the worst party dynamic I've ever had. In our Soulspar campaign, our wizard and artificer, bracket, I am the artificer, closing bracket, we essentially just have a plan at all times that is legit called the okay, we out plan. And it essentially revolves like this. So, our barbarian and paladin have a habit of charging in, and we have a habit of not liking that. So if at any point the barbarian and the paladin charge something we don't like, we look at each other and just go, so do we execute the plan? And based on how like the first round goes, we either execute the plan or don't. And by executing the plan, I mean the artificer just activates armor of etherealness and pops into the ethereal realm and leaves, and the wizard going dimension door 4 times and leaving.
Why doesn't the wizard just take the artificer with him when he casts Dimension Door?
Because I don't trust fucking Raznot.
Ah!
The artificer and wizard have a bug out plan. You don't trust each other. Are you telling me you guys won't counterspell each other? Or is a funny prank the wizard dispels the magic right before a fight that he thinks the plan will be necessary on the armor? Dispel magic on the etherealness?
No, I think it's just more he doesn't trust him not to warp him into a solid mountain.
Essentially.
Jesus.
It's a lot easier to just, you know, cast etherealness and just fuck off. You know?
Right.
What if you're fighting face spiders?
Oh, if I'm fighting face spiders, I don't really care. I'm level 11. I can take a fairly hefty chunk of them with me.
But what if it's like a giant ass swarm? Like you're talking like in the realm of 30 or 40.
Oh no, I can take 30 or 40. Fuck, warp spiders easy, my guy.
100.
Still difficult. Probably can.
How?
I'm
I
level
wanna ask-
11, and my DM, because like at this point we have so many magic items that we are just we are giving magic items to our pets in that campaign, my guy.
All right, fair.
Yeah, he's overdone it. Yep. That's
to
why
be
I'm
fair,
sparing with magic items, because they get
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, to be fair, our DM also tends to like he runs a quote unquote realistic world most of the time. So like at one point we walked into a thing and literally all of us were below 10 health first round just because we walked into a trap, we activated the trap, then a giant fuck off red dragon just went, you done goofed, flame breath. I was on 1 HP for the entirety of that fight, and I was scared.
I mean,
So we have a lot of magic items, but also our DM on occasion will fucking humble us.
to be fair, you do have an artificer who is like level 10 to 11. By that point, they can make anything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I
Like
straight up
common or
have
uncommon.
I straight up have like a homebrewed item that just essentially allows me to make magic items like you do in Skyrim. I have like a point pool and I can just make permanent magic items. It's amazing.
Yeah. Alright,
I,
I'm gonna talk logistics. I know we want to keep talking about the D&D. Do we think we can get Madame Ava done in the next half hour, if we wait longer, or should we just like
Yeah,
do it
I'm-
without
Yeah,
Blackstone, or
I'm giving it like 5 more minutes, and if he doesn't like, because I need about 20 minutes for Madame Eva.
Mm,
So if he doesn't show up in like the next 7 minutes, I will be calling it.
Sounds good.
okay.
Because I think
Like,
we've
we have
exhausted
enough-
side note stuff.
Essentially, like,
We've stalled a fucking lot. We could have had Madame Ava like a half an hour into this.
Yeah.
listen, we need to get into logistics here of how we're gonna get out of Strahd if we need to.
I mean that
How
was a
the
neat
floor
that
public
was a neat
desk-
conversation. Like, how do the Astani work? Jesus.
I do like the fact that we have the marriage. We have the marriage. We have the marriage ripcord when ready, guys.
Look, it's always nice to have up. No.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I-
Sunny will help you guys get out if you're really looking to get out, but he's not gonna leave himself.
Yeah. To believe it or not,
Don't
as much
worry.
as he likes Sunny, he's more than willing to leave Sunny behind if it becomes necessary. He's
Oh,
like,
I know. Don't get me wrong.
this is Sunny's decision. I don't have to die with the robot.
No, I gotcha. I'm not offended. I'm just saying you guys have it out. I don't.
Yeah.
As soon as Jordan, it's one of those things where Braxton probably won't leave Sunny now, but as soon as he gets one of those scary situations like the red dragon flame breath thing he described, until then he should be like, stick around. I mean, this is Barovia. This is a place of unknown, touched ruins and knowledge. Fucking, of course I'll document it, right?
And then he's gonna have a natural confrontation with something really deadly. He's gonna go, nope, not worth my life. I'd like to get
And then
married,
he'll bug it.
please.
I
What-
honestly don't know. Probably because Braxton blacked out a little bit, but but Braxton is not completely sure if he fully married that lady before the kid or after.
He seriously has that kind of marriage scenario, does he?
Oh my god.
He does financially support them and visit them from time to time. It's just he does not stay for long because the whole he can turn into werewolf and can threaten their lives sort of thing.
Oh, Christ. Hey guys, if nothing else today, we got some very useful information.
We did. So next time you guys want to be gal pals with Strahd, do we ask about werewolves, werewolf hunters, and do we go like, so how was your boo Tatiana? Was she cool? And then have him rip out my throat, and then I don't have to stay up this late, and it's great. Because I'm pretty sure it's either he is just like, yeah, fuck that bitch, or you motherfucker, did you just insult my first goddamn wife? And then I die. So it's coin flip.
That is fair. Well,
Because, like, imagine, hold on, can we have this as a, I need one of you 3 DMs to do this. Can you have a vampire who literally was just a guy who was just like, I turned into a vampire so I could outlive my wife because, oh my god, she was the fucking worst? Jesus.
Absolutely could be done. I don't know if I will do that though.
that would be kind of
Just
funny.
someone who seeks
That would be
out
kind of funny in
immortality.
Humblewood. We just run into a random person. He's like, I random vampire.
That
He's just
maybe
like-
you know what? Maybe if we have like a Halloween one shot in the Humblewood setting, maybe.
Yeah, they're just like, there's a vampire in those days. It took over the manor of Madame Ritchie, and he's just like, hi, I'm actual Mr. Ritchie. I turned into a vampire because my wife was a bitch. Like he says it quietly because he's not sure if she's a ghost or not.
I mean, one of my favorite vampire stories from one of the comedy Discworld books I read is he turned into a vampire. He goes, "What? You were turned into a vampire? What? Were you bitten by a bat?" He goes, "No, a lawyer. I inherited my castle from my uncle, and then next thing I know, I woke up in a coffin." And then he bitches about how expensive it is to keep being a vampire because you gotta buy the castle and you gotta pay for everything.
And property taxes come around.
Yeah,
and you have to
exactly.
pay it, or
Brings
else
up the
they're like,
property tax. He brings up the property taxes, and then like there's no bonus to it because you're always got peasants trying to burn down your house. And
Not
But-
to mention the amount of employees you have to pay for. Just ugh.
oh, he also points
Not
out
to
the fact that his wife's not. He never even turned his wife into a vampire because he was already previously married. He goes, "Why don't you turn your wife into a marriage?" Like, I don't see why I have to bite my wife after 20 years of marriage.
I mean, to be fair, that is more or less how Strahd feels.
Uh,
We gotta get in there. It's gonna be like, God, my first wife. Like, oh.
No, it's not the
He's
wife
going
thing.
to
It's not the wife thing. It's more like, why do people just keep doing this to me? Like every single time, people show up here and just go, "Ah, the monster Strahd, we shall slay." do remember this has been going like most times. People can essentially be invited into Barovia. You've gathered by now that like some people just show up here. Like they don't need an invitation. Some people are just lured here. And
No, we
most of
gathered
these
that.
people
just
show up at
fucking walk.
yeah. And most of these people show up at Castle Raven, often just go like Strahd. Case in point, wizard.
I always like the character conceit of just a person who like does unspeakable things or like like gains immortality for the most mundane bullshit. It's like a lich who is just like I spent all my time and all of my effort and I even transcended life itself to figure out what this cipher means and I have finally unlocked it. Okay, moment of truth. This cipher means eat a big butt. And then they just fucking collapse. Just mundane bullshit.
Last
Eric, did I ever
last
tell you
episode.
what why my necromancer became a necromancer in my one game?
What is that?
He became a
Okay,
necromancer because he found out his backstory sees a gnome who runs an inn and skeletons are cheap labor.
Yes, they are.
I just imagine this lich like cast like speak with the gods or something like that, or contact.
Commune.
Yeah, no, not commune. Like the one that like wizards can do that lets them basically talk to extra